All right, everybody. We're back. I am Queenie Clem. I'm the admin in this group, Readers and the Authors We Love. And this is PopUp Authors Live Thursday afternoon edition. And I have six wonderful and amazing authors today. I have J.B. Vampel. I have Erica Capri. Lorna, L.A. Lewis, I know I'm messing up y'all names, Amelia Rucker, Julia Thomas, and Denise Walker. I know I'm butchering names, but I'm so sorry. Today we have the first author we have is J.B. Vampel, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. Did I pronounce it right?
You got Vampel right, yes.
Okay. You can, tell us about yourself. Tell us about your books, and you can read snippets from your book.
Ooh, I can read from the back of the book because I got 8 books and I'm trying to figure out what snippet I want to read. But I'm J.B. Vampel. I'm from Philadelphia. I am the author of the College Life series, which is a 9-book no adult teen series, fiction series that follows the lives of 5 young Black women as they journey through their years of college. So the series touches on, I like to call it character-driven series because it's based around the characters and not so much around the plot. Mm-hmm. And through each book, the characters go through a series of events that start to change them and then shape them into the adults that they become once they graduate. Because they're coming in freshmen, teenagers, and then they're leaving as adults, you know? So I know my college experience wasn't nearly as eventful as these characters' college experiences, but I know from being from that time and going through college that it is a life change. It's kind of a life-changing experience. You're kind of learning yourself and, you know, just going into adulthood for the first time. So my experience and my imagination and these characters gave me a lot to write about. So I started writing this series when I was actually in high school. I was getting ready to graduate and go to college myself. That year, I was 17 years old. And I was an avid reader, and I really wrote as a hobby. And I wanted to read something that I can identify with as a young Black girl going to college for the first time. And at least I didn't find anything that I could read about, so I decided to write about it. Through the end of high school, went through college, I was writing my series. And I actually did not publish the first book, even though I've been writing it for years, the series. I didn't publish my first book until December 2015. And I was self-published, and I'm still self-published now. And just this past April, I released the 8th book in the series.
Wow.
Yeah. So let me show you my covers, okay? Because they're so cute. Okay, so this is book 1. On my camera. This is book 1. And then we have book 2. Book 3. Book 4. Book 5. Book 6. Book 7. And my new baby, the big baby. Book
wow.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. So I'm still waiting. I'm still writing the final book in this series. The final book actually follows the characters picks up 5 years after they graduate. Because the first 8 books were actually through the characters' years of college. So I'm still writing that now. And don't ask me when it's going to be out because I have no idea.
So do they start with college or do they start in high school?
No, they start with college. So each book tells the events of a college semester. So they're starting the first book. They're coming into their freshman year, and it goes so on and so forth like that. Book 8 is their final semester, so they're graduating. And then, like I said, book 9 picks up 5 years later.
Okay.
I was originally going to end it at 8 books years ago, but I figured, you know, not only do I, as the writer, kind of want to know or write about what the characters are up to after graduation, I know their readers would too. So that's book 9 was born a couple of years ago. So
okay.
Yes.
Okay, which one do you want to read from?
Okay, so I'm going to read the synopsis. I'm not even going to embarrass myself and try to find these pages. I'm going to hold up time. So I'm going to read the synopsis for the first book, just to give you kind of a little, tidbit of what's going to happen in this book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so leaving home, and this is for College Life 101, Freshman Orientation, which is book 1, semester 1 of the series. And leaving home for the first time to attend college is stressful enough. But when the roommate lottery of Paradise Valley University strikes, it produces couples who have absolutely nothing in common, causing personality clashes, which takes the stress to a whole new level. Dismay hits Sidger Howard, a prim and proper princess, when she contemplates spending an entire semester with Chastity Parker, the troubled beauty with the sharp tongue and even sharper claws. Malaysia Simmons, a boy-crazed attention-seeking diva, is no happier. Not only does she get stuck with the upper bunk bed, she has to share a triple room with Alexandra Chisholm, a nosy and overbearing self-proclaimed know-it-all. But even the meddling Alex isn't as bad as Emily Harris, a shy mommy's girl with a non-existent backbone. Coming to college to escape her home life, Chastity hopes to get through the semester without any problems. Her hopes are tainted when she begins to have to resist the advances of a determined football star, on top of dealing with family drama, which seems to have followed her. Alexandra's need to fix everyone's problems not only rubs her roommates the wrong way, it also causes her to fall blind to the problems brewing with the boyfriend that she left behind. Eventually, she'll be forced to face the issues head on. Emily's refusal to come out of her shell was too much to handle for party girl Malaysia, whose main purpose is to have fun and be seen. The same doesn't apply to Sidra, who's more concerned with trying to keep her over-the-top stress level under control. These 5 young women try to handle family drama, pressure, and conflicts, all while trying to maintain their grades. They quickly learn that college life isn't what they expected and must adapt to their new environment if they ever hope to make it through their first semester.
Oh, wow.
Yay.
Yes. Where can we find you, and where are your books located?
Sure. Well, you can find me on most social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. I have a TikTok, but I haven't used it yet. I don't know how to use it. But I may try this weekend. I don't know. But I'm all under the name and handle JB Vampel. I also have a YouTube channel. YouTube channel is JB Vampel. And on there right now is just book discussions. I have myself and 2 of my test readers, and we've been discussing the series as it goes along. I do advise if anybody's going to watch the videos, read the books first, because we talk about everything in the books. Mm-hmm. My books are currently available online. They're on Amazon in both ebook and paperback. They're on Barnes & Noble online, Walmart, Target, and again in the ebook and paperback versions. And also they're found in about, I would say, 18 libraries across the U.S. Mm-hmm. Different libraries. So yeah. So I'm making my way around on different platforms.
Well, you were invited to the literary affair.
Yes.
Here in Greenville.
Yes.
And I live right here in Greenville. And I was so pumped to meet everybody. And then
yeah. I was disappointed because for me, like, I've been touring, like constantly touring for the past couple of years. Mm-hmm. And I've made every event that I've been scheduled to attend, I hated the fact that I actually had to cancel before they made everybody cancel everything, because I had a asthma problem, so I couldn't fly. So I hated the fact that I had to cancel it. I was looking forward to it. I look forward to every event that I do. Mm-hmm. So hopefully once everything gets better, we can start meeting again, And I miss touring.
All right. Thank you for coming in today. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Our next author is Erica Dupree. Good afternoon, Erica. How are
you? Good afternoon. How are you? Doing well.
I'm doing well. You can tell us about Erica, your books, and you can read a snippet from your book if you like.
Okay. As you mentioned, my name is Erica Dupree. I am an author and a publisher, as well as a podcaster of the podcast Gym Talk. So the books that I have out is I'm the author behind the Thin Line Between Love and Obsession series. So the first book is A Thin Line Between Love and Obsession. And the second book is a trilogy. The second book is The Thin Line Between Love and Fear. So these books is basically Christian fiction books, and it's basically about a woman that was a Christian who is a Christian, and she was going through domestic violence with her husband. So she was battling with if she should stay with him, stick out her marriage, or should she find something else to stem off her stress in a sense. So her husband was very controlling and rich. So when she moves on with her life, like joining the gym and doing extra things to start working, she was just at home and he just wanted her to stay at home. And as she moved on with her life, she met a guy and found out that it was more than just what she thought it was, like love, and it went all the way into obsession and goes on from there. But in this is the first edition of the book, A Thin Line Between Love and Obsession, and then it goes into A Thin Line Between Love and Fear, which is the second edition of the book. So these are the two books of the novel fiction. I do have a nonfiction book that actually pre-sale is going to start tomorrow, and it is a book for women who has been sexually abused. It's called Prayers for the Prey, and it's nonfiction, and it's basically a book that's going to help empower women through that time and giving them a clear understanding why they was considered as a victim and why they was considered as a prey. Why did the predator come out after them? What was their purpose? So it is a very empowering nonfiction book that will help them. And the pre-sale starts tomorrow, and book will be released on May 1st.
Okay. Would you like to read from one of them?
Sure. I can read the blurb on the back of each book, so you can kind of get a understanding. Now, this is the first one. Again, A Thin Line Between Love and Obsession. So the blurb in the back of that book is: Kendall Alexandra seems to have everything a picture perfect marriage that most people would envy. Kendall appears to be living the luxury life, married to top district attorney in the city of New Orleans and living a fashionable lifestyle. But after the death of her child and having multiple miscarriages, she began to experience depression and abandonment issues. Kendall is desperately seeking to regain control of her life. She looks to fulfill her spiritual battles in the wrong places. She believes getting back in the workforce by changing her lifestyle, hoping it would end her problems. When Kendall meets Scott, a successful businessman, the tables begin to turn. However, when reality kicks in, she finds that it's very difficult to distinguish between love and obsession during her relationship. Kendall continues battle delusions with the purpose of their encounter, and her life takes a mysterious turn for the worse. Kendall refused to lose anything else and adapt to the mindset, if I perish, I perish. So that's the first one.
Okay.
And this is the second. I'm going to read the blurb just for the second edition to kind of give you an understanding of what the second edition is about. Okay. Refreshed and newly divorced Kendall Alexandra flirtatiously encountered a handsome man during a flight for her business to New York City. Rearing from mixed emotions caused her, with her previous marriage, forced to revisit the past filled with scorn, shame, and infidelity. Upon arriving in New York, Kendall has an unexpected encounter with her ex-husband, Larry, revealing a shocking secret: a child unknowingly born of her frozen embryo. Kendall redirects her efforts, seeking answers, and set a course to fight back and expose the vicious crime committed against her. She continues to question the magnitude of her unfairness of her life and determined not to be defeated a second time. When Kendall escapes her fears and fight will she take the risk and take the terror of life? So, so that's basically now keep this book right here. This is the first edition. I just got news that this book is actually on the bestseller list in United Kingdom. So it's a big deal. I got bestseller list in United Kingdom. So yeah, and actually this book is I'm working on an adaptation of a movie based on this book. So it's kind of like lifestyle. You would call it a lifetime type movie book. So that's what my writing style is mostly on.
How can readers find you and your books?
Sure. So they can find me. They can go to my publishing page under my Gem Light Publishing. They can find me there, or they can go under my author page. It's under author Erica Sherrill, or my personal page is Erica Capri. They can also find me on Spotify, radio, anywhere that they find a podcast on a Gem Talk podcast, or email me at gemlightpublishing.com.
All right. Thank you for coming in today. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye. All right. The next author coming up. Good afternoon. How you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm doing good. How are you?
Fine. Okay. Tell us about yourself, your books, and you can read a snippet from your book.
Okay. My name is L.A. Lewis, so I write under the name L.A. Lewis. I'm an author of 3 novels, 4 short stories, 2 novellas, and a daily devotional. I'm also a script writer and producer. I just produced, well, not just, but a year ago, produced my first short film, Secrets from the Bayou. One thing you will find about me is all of my books have secrets. I try to stick with the secret theme because they just seem to come out. My characters have a life of their own. And for some reason, my characters have a lot of drama and a lot of background secrets that end up coming out in their stories. The funny thing about this is sometimes I don't even know what these secrets are until I start writing and everything starts coming together. So my very first book I published in 2009. Which was Dirty Little Secrets, of course. Now, when I wrote Dirty Little Secrets, I just wanted to write. I didn't even write this story to publish it. I just wanted to write a story. I was hit with the bug, I guess. And being a teacher, well, I was a teacher at the time, I wanted to write a story about a teacher. But of course, she couldn't just be at school. I mean, that's boring. So I knew she had to have some drama going on outside of her school life. So this lady has some secrets at home that end up merging with her school life. And things got a little spicy between she and her husband. So this one, Dirty Little Secrets, is about school teacher Holly James and her husband, Mark. After Holly finds out Mark has been hiding some secrets, in an effort to cope and to try and get through, she ended up making some secrets of her own. So now they have to decide, can their marriage stand all of these secrets? Are they going to be able to mend things, or is it time to just call it quits? So that's Dirty Little Secrets. Now, I had way too many secrets for one book. So Dirty Little Secrets 2 was born a few years after Dirty Little Secrets. In this story, paternity comes into play, more infidelity comes into play, and Holly meets someone who she had no idea about, but it wasn't her husband's secret. It ended up being her father's secret. And meeting this woman caused some deadly consequences. So you just have to read it and see who suffers these consequences.
Okay.
Then we have Double Down and Dirty. No secret in the title, but it's plenty of secrets in the book. Double Down and Dirty is about, I'm going to read the back of this one to you because this is the one I wanted to read from. It says, Jade Bardot escaped her Southern Baptist family and moved to New York because they would never respect the choices she made or the secret she kept. The Big Apple and her new modeling career proved to be more adventurous than her life in Baton Rouge. Excitement flowed through everything from the towering landscapes, wonderful opportunities, and especially in the form of handsome CEO Sean Wright. Dating him takes an unfortunate turn when his sisters dance to the rhythm of revenge becomes a tune she's hell bent on sharing with her family and the people they love. In a matter of weeks, Jade's life takes an uncertain and dangerous turn. Nothing prepared her for the call, which stirs emotions Jade thought she buried. The former governor of Louisiana has denied her existence since birth and now makes a life-altering request that fills Jade with resentment. Jade built her success and happiness by making hard decisions, even ones that cause heartbreak. Unfortunately, she never imagined that any of those choices could lead to the death of someone she loves. Jade soon learns in the game of life, sometimes playing double down and dirty is the only way to win. So this is my last full-length novel that I wrote, which I published in 2016, Double Down and Dirty. Last summer, I was watching a movie, and in this movie, the husband and wife they were both looking for money to save someone's life. He was trying to save his best friend. She was trying to save her brother. Well, they both found the money at the same time. So the decision came, who gets the money? Who do we allow to die? Who do we allow to live? So in that, I had an idea. Now, most authors will tell you that most of our ideas come from something we've seen, and it's a, what if? Mm-hmm. So I was thinking, well, what if it wasn't two people who had to make the decision? What if it was one person? And what if this one person had to choose between two people that they really love? And that's where Torn, A Daughter's Love, was birthed. In this story, Angel, both of her parents need a kidney. Her mom and her dad both need kidneys, and time is running out. As we see that's going on right now with this epidemic, our people are not healthy. So finding a kidney for them, they looked in their church, they screened people in their neighborhood, but no one could donate a kidney because they all had health issues of their own. So Angel was the only one. So in this story, you have to read to figure out what happens, who lives. So that's Torn, A Daughter's Love.
I feel so bad because I read that book, but I didn't know you was the author.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't read that story.
Yes.
It was a couple of years ago, but I read it. Yes, I did.
Yep.
All right. Tell us how we can get in touch with you and get your books.
Yes, you can get it. I have a website. It's www.authorlalewis.com. Facebook page is the same, authorlalewis.com. And Twitter, authorlalewis.com. I'm also a writing coach. So my Instagram page is Lorna_loves_writing. So I give a lot of tips and things on my Instagram page for those who are interested in writing.
Okay. Thank you for coming in today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Have a good one.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. You heard it there. Now we have another great author. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing well.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming in. Now tell us about you, your books, and you can read a snippet from your books.
Yes, ma'am. So my name is author Amelia Rucker. I am currently serving in the United States Army. I have 6 right now underneath my belt. I write Christian romance. I also written a short story. I have 2 blogs, and I have a YouTube page as well. So reason why I chose Christian romance is because at 19, that's when I decided to fully want to establish a full relationship with God, and was like, you know what, I really want my writing to reflect my lifestyle and all the things I witnessed, and I just wanted to reverse that in the books as well. So I was like, if I'm gonna follow God, my books need to have some standards too. So it was like that. So the first book I read was not actually the first book I written, but it's the first book I published. It's book 1 of the Love Don't Come Easy series. And book 1 is about finding love again after a bitter divorce. And to be honest, I never told nobody this, but I've seen people find love again after a divorce, a bitter one. So it is possible. And book 2, which I happen to also rewrite as well, is book 2 of the Love Don't Come Find Easy story as well. This one was actually tough to write. I'm going to tell you why. That same year I rewrote it, I lost a very good friend of mine, and he's actually in the story. He's in the first one as well. So it was very tough. And I was like, after I do this, I'm just going to put writing aside. But I know that's something he would not want, because he supported me fully on my writing. So this was actually a good one to write, but it was just very tough to write at the same time. And I didn't publish it until my birthday. That was, I think, a blessing right there. So I didn't celebrate normally like a normal 25-year-old. I was like, you know what? I'm going to publish this book on my birthday. So my most read novel is my third novel. It is Shattered, book 1 of the Shattered series. This one, I wanted to focus on Diamond's friend, and her life is not easy as well. So she's been through some ups and downs, I can tell you. And my most famous one that's still being read, although it's only a year old, is my 5th one, which is First Kiss. And First Kiss tells about a 17-year-old. What makes First Kiss so unique is that it actually reflects on my life as a 17-year-old. When I was 17, I kind of fell into like a little deep depression because the boy I wanted at that time ended up dumping me for my friend. And it was right then and there I really found my writing talent for writing a novel. So the books that I have published are not actually the first novels I written. Be honest, my first book will actually be my third. This will actually be like my third book if I had published my first 2. But I kind of left them alone right now. They're still going to be published soon. But I don't have a paperback copy of book 4 and 6 at the moment. So they're currently getting reviewed. So book 4 is actually Sometimes I Hate Being in Love with a Thug. I'm going to tell you about that one. That was actually my favorite one to write. And I'm going to tell you why. It actually revived my writing career, because after I wrote Shatter, I felt I had a mental breakdown. I was dealing with so much stuff, and it was to the point I did not know which way to go. So it actually revived my career instead of turning it down. And book 6 is so unique because normally when I write the characters, I get it from myself or people that I know. I did not use none of my friends or my family or myself in this story. So I kind of looked to my figurine and doll collection for characters for this book. So it's not really, that one's like not being read really the most, but everyone's reading the 1st through the 5th one at the moment. But hopefully soon everyone can read Again a Good Taste of Front Steps on Harlem Avenue, which is my 6th story. So the one I'm going to read from is the snippet of Love Don't Come Easy Part 1. Love seems to be the last thing on Diamond's mind. After getting a divorce and raising her sons, Diamond cares less about love. Being a minister and nurse has its ups and downs, especially dealing with the scheming scams of her ex-husband, Nuke. Learning that her childhood sweetheart, Mark, still has feelings for her, Diamond is soon at a crossroad once a ghost from boyfriend past arrives. Wayne Davidson seemed redeemed or so. The once crack addict, now turned pastor, is on a road to reunite with Diamond. Everything seems to be smooth once temptation comes around the corner. With an 18-year-old mystery and 2 men in love with her, will Diamond give Wayne a chance, or will she give Mark another shot at love? So this was actually, let me tell you why I rewrote this one. I did not want her really to be with the guy on the cover. So I kind of spoil the book. I was like, maybe the people were right. Maybe I should have changed the hero, but y'all just have to read book 1 and book 2 to find out what happens. Yeah.
All right. Where can the readers find you and your books?
They can find me on my blog, which is Unique. They can find me on my other blog, Unique Author 230. They can find me on YouTube as Amelia Rucker. Facebook, my personal Facebook page, Amelia Rucker. And then I have a author's Facebook page, which is Author Amelia Rucker. I have an Instagram, which is Rucker.Amelia166. And then I have Twitter, which is at Godly Diva 23. So I'm at all those places. And Goodreads.
Okay.
So I'm basically right now on Amazon, Books A Million online, as well as Barnes and Nobles online with all the books.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in today. I really appreciate it.
You are so welcome. It was actually a blessing to do this.
All right. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Bye-bye. Okay, we have Denise. How you doing?
Hey.
How you doing?
Good.
All right, tell us about you, your books, and you can read a snippet from one of your books.
Okay, I am Denise Walker, and I'm a minister, a mentor, and an educator. This is my 20th year as an educator. I'm an author and a podcaster, as well as an editor and writing coach. I am the founder of Hope in Christ Ministries, where I host the podcast Hope in Christ with Denise and Building Literacy and True Identity. And I also am the owner of Armor of Hope Writing and Publishing, where I actually publish my own books and also help other people with their books. So that's me. That's who I am. So I'm going to talk real quick about my books. My first book, and let's see. Okay. Can you see it?
Yes.
My first book is Representing God. And one of the things I do is I write devotional journals using English strategy. So this was my first hand at trying to publish. I used to just write in my journals. And so I had created a bunch of strategies. And this is my first book. This was geared to middle grade students because that's most of my background. My background is I spent about 15 years with middle school students. And so I spent a lot of time understanding that they still had some literacy struggles. So that, and they did not understand who Christ is. So God gave me this vision to publish at first. My second book, which is the better known one, that everybody's actually on Amazon bestselling list since it came out. Hannah's Hope, and it is based on my life, but it's still fictionalized. And the reason why I wrote this one and this is my latest one, Hannah's Heart, which is a little thicker, this one is a novel, this one is a novella. And so I wrote both of them because not just because of what I experienced, but I saw a lot of things happening with teen girls where people did not understand them. They only saw them as, grown, quote unquote, disrespectful, but a lot of their anger came out because of what they had experienced or might have been experiencing that they didn't know how to tell anybody. So I write about real situations that may be happening in the lives of young people and things that the community needs to address. So this one was based on molestation, and then Hannah's Heart is her trying to deal with what she had gone through. So she's trying to be a student, trying to be a 13-year-old girl in this book, a normal 13-year-old girl, and just not being able to do it because she has issues at school. Because in middle school, there's drama. There's always drama. And so she was dealing with drama at school and trying to deal with all of the emotions she was feeling rejected by her aunt and her mom and things like that. So that's this book. My other book is This English Class or Bible Study? It's kind of awkward. I'm trying to hold it this way. Okay. Is This English Class or Bible Study is another strategy journal. And it is a list of strategies. So you can see the lines in there. It's a list of Bible study strategies using English skills, English comprehension skills, where I create things for people to be able to comprehend what they're reading. They can write it out using that strategy, and they'll better understand what they're reading in the Bible. So that's what Is This English Class or Bible Study is. It actually sells pretty well offline. It's the one that sells pretty well offline. And then my other book is The Script. The cover is kind of, can't really see it. But The Script is just my journey to becoming a writer, and just giving people the tips that God gave me to get through the writing process. And the first part, the difference of The Script is the first part God had to deal with me, meaning healing, deliverance, and all of that before I could actually write. So that's what The Script. And there's a phrase I always say that he gave me is, your script was already written by God. And so that's why I titled it The Script, because he knew what we were going to walk through. And so now he's calling us to write, and some things we have to deal with in order to get to it. Mm-hmm. So those are my books. And the one book that I'm finishing up, which I should be done in the summer, is Barren Wound, where Hannah is now an adult. And so Hannah, being an adult, she has some other struggles as an adult woman in her 30s. And so and one of the main things is she struggles with endometriosis, and that's another part of my story, where I battled with not being able to have a child. So that's why it's called Barren Womb. But she's dealing with more than just the physical barrenness. She's dealing with spiritual, needing spiritual healing, because now all of that stuff comes crashing down on her. So that's Barren Womb. That's the one that's coming out in the summer.
Okay. Do you want to read a snippet from one of your books?
I could read a little snippet of Hannah's Heart. This is the scene where Hannah is in the cafeteria with her friend, and she's already trying to get over the drama of getting these text messages from a family member who's accusing her of what she has just gone through in book 1. And then comes this girl who's harassing her. And so it says, minutes later, Hannah felt someone standing behind her. She turned to find Sydney. She bumped Brittany, getting her to slide down in the other direction. Not in the mood for Sydney today. She then noticed Sydney moving in the same direction, so she stood, grabbed her plate, and walked over to the trash can. Brittany stood as well. When Hannah turned around, she stood face to face with Sydney again. "Would you please stop being so dumb?" said Hannah, pointing her hand close to Sydney's nose, trying to step around her. "Who are you calling dumb?" demanded Sydney, slapping at Hannah's hand before Hannah pulled it back. "Let's go, girls," said Brittany. Hannah also heard Keith's voice behind her. "Sydney, why are you trying to start something again?" "I'm not trying to start nothing. This black dot put her hand in my face, and she's about to catch these hands. I also heard she is pushing up on my man." "Are you serious?" Keith asked, Sydney turning towards his voice. "Yes, she better stay out of his face," Sydney repeated, turning back to Hannah. "First of all, he's not a man," Keith added. "I don't know what you're talking about, and you can say what you want, but don't put your hands on me," Hannah said, attempting to walk away as her pulse raced. As she turned to head to the door, Sydney brushed her shoulder. Hannah followed behind her, reaching for her hair. She felt hands grabbing and pulling her back once again. Hannah's body shook. She felt rage. Come on, Hannah. That girl is not even worth you getting suspended over, Keith said. Yes, girl, ignore her. Let's go to her room, Brittany chimed in. I'm going to ignore her, all right. If she touches me one more time, I'm going to make the suspension worthwhile. I don't even care anymore. That's not even you, said Brittany. Keith remained silent. I don't care anymore, Britt. Hannah, what's up? Nothing, she replied, just above a whisper. She could feel Keith's eyes on her, so she didn't say another word. So that's the scene where she's trying to prevent getting in trouble because she's an honor roll student, but she's just gone through a lot of trauma. And she knows that if she gets in trouble, her dad is going to be very angry with her. So she's trying to avoid it. But of course, towards the end, she can't help it because of all of what's going on in her life. Mm-hmm. She just boils over with anger. And that's what a lot of our girls do in middle school, and not just middle school, but elementary. Some of my students, my current students, have read Hannah's Hope and Hannah's Heart. And they're wanting to read more because they can relate to the characters and what's happening in her life. So that's all I have. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me say I got 2 things. Well, 3 things. Christian Book Lovers Retreat.
Mm-hmm.
Going?
Yes. I plan to be there. Yes.
And you're gonna have that book, your 4th book, or the 3rd book out of Hannah's. You'll have it there. Right.
The one that when she's an adult is the women's one. Yes. And then I'm hoping I have the 3rd of the teen girls book done, which is called that one's going to be called Purposed and Loved. Okay. So she eventually has to come to grips that no matter if she's being rejected by her family members that are supposed to love her, that she has a purpose and she's loved by the people that's around that she's already has in her life. So that's going to be the end of this series. And then the women's series is the one called Barren Womb.
All right. And where can everyone, the readers, find you and your books?
My books are on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Books A Million. Hannah's Hope is actually on Walmart.com as well, and some other places that I found it when I did the search for it. Mm-hmm. And people can reach me on Facebook. You can join the Hope in Christ Book Club, or you can follow us on Facebook. And also my business page, Armor of Hope, I have a Facebook page, and also my personal author page, author Denise Walker, and Instagram and Twitter, which I kind of don't use all the time, but those are the main platforms. I tried Snapchat because the youth are on Snapchat, but I'm too old for Snap. I don't have time. It's too much. So, so thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. I guess I'll see you in October.
I am looking forward to it. It was lots of fun before.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right, there you have it. I am super stoked. JB, Erica, LA, Amelia, and Denise, thank you for coming in. Thank you for being a part of the Readers and Authors We Love. I love that group. Everybody knows that. I've been in the group since Jennifer birthed it, I guess you could say. A couple of months later, I joined it, and I have been an admin ever since because the founder, Jennifer, is on hiatus writing her own book. So I enjoyed this group. I enjoyed doing the pop-up Author Lives. This is my 2nd week. I'm going now into my 3rd week next week. If anybody wants to join the Pop-Up Authors Live, let me know. We do a session at 2:30 and again at 6:30. And again, thank you to all the authors that have participated. I really appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Have a blessed night. Happy reading. Bye, y'all.